What's going on, my family? It's your boy King Lou, and we are back with another video. Boy, Officer Tatum out here making secret deals, man. We got to figure out what it's about. Please don't forget to hit the like, sub button, drop a comment down below. But let's get straight into it. So your boy back at it again, man. Officer Tatum. I ain't even got too much to say, man. Let's get into it. I don't know what's going on. So this is my genuine reaction too.
This is some despicable behavior from Officer Tatum. See, Tatum has been lying to everyone, right? Anyone with an ear to listen, he's quick to tell you that people have a problem with what he's been doing in his Nolan Wells situation because he's not taking sides, right? Because he's being objective and just telling the truth. No, the problem is people...
Please drop a comment down below and let me know if you think he's taking sides. I sure the hell do think he's taking sides. Like what? Why not interview the parents then? Why not interview both parties?
Realize that Tatum has been compromised from day one. And there was really no way to prove it until now. No. What we just discovered is striking. This is bad.
Assumed friends the way they did. Brandon Tatum is a lightning rod. Why? Black guy who talks conservative politics. Black guy who supports the president. Black guy who is not open to the idea that in Nolan Wells, it's got to be about race. Went to Mississippi, had interviews that definitely shed light on who we're dealing with here and what's going on. So I asked Brandon Tatum to come back to talk about the response.
Bro, that's crazy that they went back to the island, bro. Not diabolical.
To what he learned, what he now knows that he can share with us, and what he believes the state of play is.
The fact that he has convinced so many people that the reason why black folks are against Officer Tatum in this situation is because he's a black conservative who is interviewing the friends and trying to be objective. That's the furthest thing from the truth. When Tatum was interviewing these people, Tatum referred to his side as their side. And he refers to the side that Benjamin Crump and Imama was on as the other side. So Tatum has already came out, right? He's on a side here. But whenever Tatum is asked about, why do you get so much backlash from black folks? The first thing out of his mouth is, I'm a conservative and I'm a truth seeker. No, people look at Tatum and they realize Tatum is compromised, yes. Right? As black men, but we know, right? When a brother come around and he starts talking a certain way, and he starts moving a certain, man, we know that check done cleared, man. We know, right? The check for them white folks. Now, which white folks, I don't know, but the check for them white folks done came in. We know how a brother talk when them checks clear.
I somewhat agree. This is a sell your soul kind of topic. So I think he compromised too. I agree with the compromise. I think he compromised too. The way that he talks about black people, it seems like somebody who's done with black people rather than, you know what I mean, somebody who wants to build.
It's not about anything other than black folks believing that Tatum is compromised.
Tatum, Facts. Thank you for joining us again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
How has the reporting that you did in Mississippi and the interviews that you did, how has it been received?
It depends on what group of people you're referring to. I think that for rational people that, in my opinion, want to know the truth and they're open-minded, I think it was received very well. They got access to information that wasn't privy to the public. Obviously, law enforcement has this information already, but, information that people who are interested in finding the truth wanted to hear from these young boys and their account, and they can make their decision from there. It was received very well. People are thankful, very thankful that I took the time to interview these young boys, and they got a little more clarity. When it comes to majority black community, some of the celebrities, D.L. Hughley and others, they absolutely me. They think I'm Satan, and they think that I my mama, who's black, just because I decided to interview people who asked me to interview them. And I don't know how people have conflated what I have done in this interview or in this process, but they have. And this is not abnormal. When you are black in America and you don't toe the line of where...
This is why we don't like Tatum. Not because the role that he playing in this case, because we ain't like him before this case. It has nothing to do with this case. Not because of the role he playing in this case, because the way he talks, you know what I'm saying? like his point.
quote unquote, the black community wants you to, then you're deemed an uncle. You somehow people and you somehow working for the white man, which is furthest from the truth, man. I love everybody. I don't care nothing about race. It's pointless to think about race. I treat people based on their character, based on their integrity, based on what they present to me, and that's the end of the story.
Why do you think members of the black, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Celebrity community, whatever it is, black people whose names we know, why do you think that they come at you that way? You think it's about your politics, or do you think that they are worried about something that you're not showing enough concern about in their estimation?
No, a lot of these people are ignorant. They're brainwashed and emotional.
D.L. Hughley has criticized Tatum, by the way, for disparaging the mama, for not being neutral, for being biased, for not asking the right questions, all right? Now, Tatum would even take it a step further. He would even say that black people are upset at him for how he conducted himself when he interviewed the boys, because black folks and black culture teaches them to folks, right? They internalize white hatred, so which is why they him giving a voice to white kids, right? Now, he would even say that he knows this because he...
What? You see what I'm saying? Like, we're taught to dislike. Okay, bro. Like, what type of stuff is that? Where do you get that from? Unless you were taught that.
Himself used to folks, which I think is exclusive to Tatum. I don't think the majority of black folks, I don't even think a large percentage of black folks share that in common with Tatum. They just don't, okay? The majority of black folks have never hated white folks, right? A large percentage of black folks have never hated white folks. That's just an outright lie. Tatum would even go as far to claim, all right? Now, this is where I knew that Tatum has lost his mind. Tatum claimed, right, that those boys was not granted the opportunity to do an interview with any black platforms because the black platforms they would do it. Are you crazy? Do you know how many black platforms will rush
to do an interview,
to agree to that interview so like they could grill them?
Facts.
The boys ain't sitting down with black creators or with creators who are like pro Nolan Wells family. The reason why they not doing it is because they understand it's gonna be a grilling, it's gonna be an interrogation.
Okay. Forget black creators or black people that interview you. Why didn't they go sit down with Nancy Grace? Riddle me that. They ain't got nothing to do with black. They ain't got nothing to do with color. Y'all the same color. Why didn't they go sit down with the lawyers? When you interviewed them and the lawyers, and the lawyers bought the boys, why he ain't go on Nancy Grace with all of them there? Come on, bro.
And it's not going to be a cakewalk like a Tatum interview.
Facts.
That's why they not showing up to these platforms. Not because there's a lack of offers or like invite, which is just absurd and silly.
Them are addressing actual things that I said and actual processes that I went through to interview. They do not care about the truth, or many of them would have interviewed me and just asked me what happened and what did I do. None of them, even those who claim to be journalists, did not give an opportunity to the other side for the other side to have a voice. They did not. And the reason why is because they're white. And a lot of them actually white people. And they act like they don't. Listen to their rhetoric. Listen to the things that they've said in the past. They white people internally. And so
So by the things that you said in the past about black people, I should think you hate black people internally. Is that what you're suggesting?
up when a topic comes up like this and there's an opportunity to paint white people with a broad brush, they take advantage of it. And I've seen it over the years. I've seen it growing up. I used to white people when I was growing up. That's just a part of the culture. And unfortunately, it rears its ugly head as soon as one of these incidents happen. And you've seen it time and time again. Go look at the comment section. How does young men who we don't really have any evidence that committed a crime, how do they get painted as criminals? How do they get painted as being responsible for the death of a person that was considered their friend?
I thought when the police are doing an investigation on the murder, somebody passes away and it was foul play involved, the last person to see them is automatically the first suspect, correct? The last person to be in contact with them is the first person we suspect did something to them. So in this case, Nolan Wells passed away. The last people to see him were those group of friends. That's why we suspect them of doing something.
If the roles were reversed,
The first part
am
of
I
that
tripping?
was a lie, like a lie flat out of hell, by the way.
Am I tripping?
Because I think Trent Out Loud, that good brother, he DM'd Tatum for an interview. Tatum responded back, and Tatum ain't go to sit down with Trent Out Loud yet. So he's claiming, yo, these people are doing videos on me, but they don't want to sit down with me. Trent Out Loud offered to sit down with Tatum. He don't want no parts of it. He don't want to, sorry, I'm not doing it. What? Why? Why would you go ahead and do it? That don't make sense. Why? Because he don't want that smoke. Right? Now, Tatum, if you got internalized hatred for white folks because you are insecure and a bigot, that's you. Don't put that on all black folks. That's not true at all. Truth is, we gave Tatum a hard time in terms of his commentary on his Nolan Wells situation because we understood he was compromised. We just couldn't prove it. But now we can. If you go to every one of Tatum's videos, if you look on your right, there's a bourbon called Verdict. At the very top left is sponsored by Verdict. Now, Verdict Bourbon is the key here to discovering how compromised Tatum is. Verdict Bourbon is actually created and owned by Brandon Tatum, which is Officer Tatum, right? So this is his brand, this is his company, this is his bourbon. So you're probably asking, okay, Flacco, what do a bourbon, what do this drink, what does Officer Tatum owning Verdict have to do with him being compromised? What do him doing bourbon have to do with his commentary on his Nolan Wells situation being compromised? How does this prove that we can't take a word he says seriously? Well, let me go to an interview that we covered yesterday.
Don't tell me this man and the lawyer done made a deal where the lawyer got to sponsor the alcohol. Don't tell me, bro.
And this was
it ain't no way.
How Tatum is compromised and how Verdict Bourbon plays into this. The attorney for Nolan Wells friends went on a press tour.
I'm done. Not with the verdict, but no. 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 No.
Now, this press tour included Nancy Grace, included a lot of other platforms.
My boy got the call.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. Now,
and
when
then the verdict
went on his press tour, there's something that I recognized almost right away that I thought was very concerning, specifically regarding this Nolan Wells situation and Officer Tatum. See, when you look in the background of the attorney Tyler Cox, when you look into his background, a lot of you guys have already seen it, but you recognize something very familiar. The item in the background that the red arrow is pointing to, you probably have figured it out by now. That's the Verdict bourbon bottle, right? That's the Verdict bourbon bottle, right? That's the liquor that's owned by Officer Tatum, right? The attorney has it strategically placed right there when he goes on his press run to give business to Officer Tatum. Now, that was not a coincidence. That was not an accident. This is an attorney that's worth millions of dollars.
That's
right?
crazy,
and you
bro.
can tell this is not no accident because on his right shoulder or left shoulder, I'm not sure, right? But opposite of the bottle, you see a Carl Cox hat. Carl Cox, right, is his firm. So he has a hat for his particular firm to give himself business placed strategically in the video as well, right?
Now, I get the world revolves around money, so it's a little bit hard to say he's compromised in a way. I'm saying the lawyer. Officer Tatum is definitely compromised. I'm not talking about him, the lawyer. Because, you know, everything is about money. So if he's just trying to make his money, because just because you align with the white people don't mean they see you as one of them. That's just my opinion. And I mean those type of people. But just because you feel me, you tap dance for them folks still don't see you as one of them. So this can just be a money thing for the lawyer and not a helping a friend out thing. You know what I'm saying? But for Officer Tatum to throw this in the mix instead of just, like, come on, bro, you're compromised.
So you got a Carl Cox hat, where is his firm, and you got the Verdict bourbon on his other shoulder. Those
Hey,
are
I'm
the
crying,
only two things
bro.
he got strategically placed when he went on a press tour. Now, I ask you this, people. Can Tatum still be out here giving opinions as an unbiased, neutral party if the lawyers for the boys
Have his
is
liquor.
promoting Tatum's Verdict bourbon on his press tour. They're doing business, whether it's directly or indirectly. This is business.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Tatum should have disclosed this. This is all I needed to know to see how compromised Tatum is. I'm sorry, bruh. Like, I'm sorry, bruh. You cannot show up, do multiple interviews, and pretend like you are this neutral observer who just want answers and you're just trying to ask the questions that everybody want to hear. And then the attorney, right, of the boys who you're supposedly to be interviewing, right, who you're supposed to be giving the hard questions to and drilling them to get to the truth, that attorney pops up with your bourbon, your brand,
I'm
on his
crying,
press
bro.
tour, and he's promoting it for you. And we're
Now, I think everybody got their own little slice of fans, so I feel like fans gonna be fans. Your people gonna agree with you. Their people gonna agree with them. But for the people that are actually neutral, who actually listen to Officer Tatum and things like that, please explain this. Is this just business? And if it was flipped, would you see this as bias? You know what I'm saying? Please explain this.
supposed to sit back and say, that don't matter. You're not compromised. Excuse me, sir. What? What? Yo, this right here to me just proves, in my opinion, Tatum has been a paid agent. Tatum has been COINTELPRO. Tatum was literally sent to try to convince the black community that certain people are not guilty. Who those people are, I don't know.
I don't know.
But Tatum was obviously sent, bruh. This is no coincidence, right? Just Bree. Didn't she already do like a breakdown on how Tatum is linked to certain people or like one of the boys' family through the Turning Point connection? And now we're seeing Tatum's bourbon is being promoted by the attorney of one of the boys.
Bro, what
I
are we
don't want to
doing?
hear a goddamn thing Tatum has to say about this case.
Me either.
Ever.
Again.
Not in life, man. But who's going to hold him accountable? That's the question, bro.
Nobody.
Even if you're somebody who believes, man, Nolan Wells accidentally drowned, y'all are out of y'all minds, y'all are crazy, y'all are conspiracy theorists, who's going to hold Tatum accountable? You don't find it odd?
I do.
You don't think that this will sway Tatum's opinions at all?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't believe that Nolan Wells, was killed and you believe he accidentally drowned, as a fair person who's looking in the mirror as a fair person, you don't think that if somebody is taking your Verdict bourbon on a press tour with them, promoting it, doing business with
Business. Mm-hmm.
you don't think that may want you not to ask the hard questions? You don't think that might sway your opinion, sway your mind?
Of course it does.
If you wanted to go hard, that might be, a detractor. You don't think that your Verdict bourbon being promoted, doing business with somebody, you don't think that might sway somebody's opinion? Even if you are anti-Nolan Wells family and Benjamin Crump, and you believe we're conspiracy theorists, we're grifters, you don't think that this could sway somebody's opinion? If you say no, then you are just...
If I have a bourbon and it's doing good, well, it would have to overly be doing good in order for me not to care. You get what I'm saying? But it would naturally, subconsciously sway your opinion. That's why I just wouldn't do business. If you're actually neutral, you just don't do business. You keep it you feel me? You keep it to journalism. You don't do business. So it's no way you can be biased. You're subconsciously going to be biased to somebody that you're doing business with. You feel me? You subconsciously trust them more. Trust what they say more. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes.
I can't begin to understand how anybody could see this and make an excuse for it. This is sickening and disgusting.
Yeah, man, it really is. And I know he gonna get up here and come up with some lame excuse as to why he doing business, just business. I gotta make my money, I gotta feed my family, whatever it is, man. But it's getting out of hand. And now we don't really want to hear from him no more on this case. He really could take a back seat. We want to hear from the lawyers. the boys, my boy Poetic Flacco, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear from him, bro. Sit back. Do reaction videos. You feel me? Join the club because we don't want to hear from you, bro. But, man, that's it for us today, man. Please do not forget to hit the like, the sub button. Drop a comment down below. We out.
No, people are not mad at Tatum because he's a black man who has certain opinions. No, they're mad at Tatum because he's clearly compromised and he played in our faces. See, if you want to do business with these people, then don't present yourself as the arbitrator of justice, right? Don't show up doing these interviews and then say, wait, why they mad at me? I just asked the right questions, I just asked the question I want to know. We understand after seeing this, business is being done. And you're asking the questions that you're being told to ask, in my opinion, allegedly, right? You're doing things that don't help. You're undermining.
Didn't I say that, though? Didn't I say that? He's asking the questions that they're telling him to ask. I said that. Because he's trying to stir the conversation. He's like curving the conversation. He's not just asking a blanket question.
Which explains why Tatum all of a sudden started to attack and go off on Nolan Wells' mama, spreading lies about her, claiming that she's been uncooperative with the police. Those lies he told on his mama now is starting to make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
The lies he told on Christine is starting to make more sense. Yo, if I'm Christine, I'm suing the living daylights out of Tatum. Tatum did 2 shows so far. One show was like 50 minutes, the other was like an hour, where he goes into details on how Christine has been uncooperative with the police. What do they have to hide? She don't want justice. The police been wanting the phone. She been giving the phone. Come to find out that's a lie. The police have never requested the phone yet from Nolan Wells' parents. The police have never told them, yo, we're interested in his phone. The phone has not been a point of discussion for the police. Like, the family could have forced them to take the phone, but will force them to take something that they don't want and have it sit on an evidence shelf for months? But the moment they say she's been uncooperative, I already knew, okay, yeah, Tatum has been sick on her. He's been sick on her. He's been sick to tear that woman down.
That was crazy.
And it's all for profit. This is just evil, man.
Nah,
Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about
this? Is evil. We won't call people evil, but the devil is definitely always working, man. But this is getting out of hand. My boy making secret deals, bro. Not the verdict bourbon, yo. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Please do not forget to hit the like, the sub button, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Until next time, y'all. We out. Woo!